Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mayleaf. In this video, you are going to join us on our travels through Yunnan as we hunt and search for the best pu'er of 2018. We are in Changsha. We arrived yesterday from London. Changsha Airport is behind me over there, and in an hour we are going to get a plane and we're going to fly to Yunnan. We're going to be flying to Jinghong Airport, which is in Sichuan. Sichuan is going to be our base from which we're going to explore Yunnan's mountains to try to find the best pu'er that we can possibly find. Of course, we have our established farmers in Yunnan, but we do not reserve lots. So we don't reserve the batch every year from the farmers, because every year is going to be different and there's no guarantee that we're going to enjoy the tea. And so every year we have this mission. We're going to have to hunt, we're going to speak to the farmers that we already do business with, but we're also going to have to seek out other pu'er, and hopefully by the end of this trip we'll have a prized collection for you. So let's head over to Yunnan and go find some pu'er. We have arrived in Sichuan, Jinghong. This place, every time I come here, it's just, I don't know, it takes about a kilo of stress off my shoulders. There's something so special about this place. It might be the Northern Thai influence here, the Buddhist influence, but there's a spirit in this city that is rarely found in other parts of China. Maybe it's the thought that there are plenty of amazing tea mountains nearby. It just fills me with excitement, but this place has an energy which is indescribable. It's getting a little bit weird here, guys. We've just had our first night in Sichuan. We've had dinner with somebody that we have not done business with yet, and we know that he has access to some incredible protected Gushu forests. We've seen pictures and the trees, the tea trees look immense. So we want to get up there to do some filming and obviously try the tea. I have to meet him. He's asked me to go down to the hotel lobby in half an hour, so that's 9:30 p.m, to drink tea with him, and he has a series of questions that he wants to ask me to determine whether or not I am worthy to go to these Gushu forests. That's the first time I've ever had to have an interview in order to get permission to visit some forests, but it may well be worth it. I'll let you know how I get on. It's been an interesting 12 hours, to say the least. So I'll fill you in on what's been happening. Last night we went down to the lobby and we met this gentleman. As I said, we've not done business with him before, but we've seen pictures of his fields and we have tasted his teas. The fields look incredible and the teas are really, really good. So we were looking forward to spending about 2 or 3 days with this man, filming, learning, and hopefully purchasing some of his teas. So we went down to have our interview. We talked with him. We tasted his teas. We had about 5 hours with him tasting about 5 or 6 Gushus. They were all really good. And he was asking us really interesting questions, different to your average kinds of questions. He was asking our intentions. He was asking questions about how we felt the tea made us feel in terms of cha-chi, in terms of energy, which way the energy was moving. We answered the questions as honestly as we could. I think that there was the natural distrust of the foreigner going on, but we're very used to that. That's something that happens with every tea trip. But these questions were definitely very different. All was going swimmingly, all went well. At about 1 o'clock, he finally agreed to take us to his protected Gushu forests. And we were all very excited. We were making our plans. Everything was good until at about 1:30 in the morning, he suddenly drops the bombshell on us that in order to have access to filming his Gushu forest, we would need to purchase in year one 500,000 RMB's worth of tea. 500,000 RMB is a lot of money to throw at tea, especially since we haven't tried that much of his tea, and we certainly haven't tried spring 2018 tea. So we're making a contract with him. He would like us to make a contract with him on the basis of this year's batch tea, which we've never even tasted, and it's a lot of money. 500,000 RMB is a lot of money to invest in a supplier, and this is a supplier that we haven't done business with before. So that wasn't going to happen. We talked, we tried to do a deal, we tried to make him understand what our goal was, to disseminate this information. We wanted to get this footage for you guys, and we also wanted to have access to these forests and taste these teas, but he wasn't going to budge. So we slept on it, although we didn't really sleep because we went to bed around 2 o'clock, and as you can imagine, lots of thoughts in our head, plus we'd been drinking Gushu tea, so we were a little bit wired, so we didn't sleep at all, hence bags under our eyes on day one of our trip, which is not a good start. And we woke up this morning, we had breakfast politely with him, and then we've now parted ways because, you know, there's the money side of it. That's obviously a big factor. 500,000 RMB is a lot of money. But also there's a relationship side of it. And if you're going to invest that kind of money and you're going to start this relationship with a producer, you want that relationship to at least start off on a relatively good footing. Bear in mind that we have spent the last month or so, even longer, about a month and a half to 2 months, planning this trip. He had assured us that he would bring us to these forests. He had never made any mention of 500,000 RMB. He had never made any mention of this test or interview that we had to go through in order to prove ourselves as understanding Gushu Cha enough. And that was all sprung on us. And I find that quite dishonorable, in fact, very dishonorable. And it's left a very bad taste in my mouth. And so I really felt that this relationship was not going down the right path. Of course, we're going to continue contact. He has great tea. We're going to see if we can rebuild this relationship. We haven't burnt any bridges. All is polite. All is, you know, being left on a good note. But it's really not an honorable way to do things, to make us fly all the way here, my mother-in-law as well, to have all of us come here on the promise that we're going to go and visit these forests, and then the day before we're about to leave, suddenly pull the rug out from under us and say 500,000 RMB please. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. Anyway, so we're left a bit stranded. This has happened to us before, although this is pretty extreme. So luckily we have a plan B. Our plan B is we have another potential supplier, again, somebody we haven't done business with before. She is a farmer in Yiwu. We are going to leave Jinghong today. We're going to head to Yiwu to hopefully find some good Gushu with her. So we will fill you in on what happens next.
Let's go to Yiwu.
We've just arrived at the farmer's house in Yiwu, up in the mountains. Oh, the feeling up here is incredible. We've just seen this setup here. We're going to drink some tea, no doubt. The hunt is on. We've just been told that the Gushu is ready for picking. She went to check today and they're just starting picking. So tomorrow we're definitely going to get some picking of Yiwu Gushu. Our first sniff of 40-year-old, so it's not Gushu by any stretch of the imagination, but it's this year, matcha. Smells, as you'd expect, quite green still, quite young, but real distinct flower notes. Very warm flower notes, very sweet flower notes. Nice thickness, good body, immediate sweetness. Signs are looking good. This is really nice. For matcha, for 40-year-old tea trees, that's pretty impressive. We've just walked downstairs to have some lunch, but look what caught my eye. We have some freshly picked gushu here. The most special moment for me is always the first time I get to smell fresh leaves when I arrive in the mountains. Here it is. There is nothing like the smell of freshly picked tea leaves. You cannot imitate it. There's nothing you can do. It is incredible. Oh, take a look at the thickness of that bud there. So this is freshly picked this morning. You can see over here, we've got the Shaqing traditional style. Things are looking good, people. Things are looking good. Let's go and eat. Check out the food situation. Wow. Farmer's food, the best food in the world. Totally tranquil. We've just had lunch, delicious lunch. Check out the forests. We're going to be heading into the forest now to start some afternoon picking, and then we're going to come back and we're going to start processing those leaves. You can see here just on their balcony, tea trees. These are about, I'm guessing around 15 years old, something like that. Looking very healthy, nice buds. See flowers here. They've got to pick the fruits off, otherwise the leaves don't grow so big. But this is just their balcony plants. All of the action is happening over there. He's producing, he estimates, something in the region of about 50 to 60 kilograms of gushu tea every season. So very, very small batch. We'll see what it tastes like. But the 40-year-old tea that we tasted just before was really, really nice. It had real sweetness. It was a bit thin, as you'd expect, freshly picked, and also younger tea trees. A bit thin, but really incredible. Very, very easy drinking tea, sweet, floral taste, something that you'd expect from Yiwu. It's a good start. It's a very good start. This is the withering phase. At this point, the leaves are losing moisture. Molecules are starting to mix with each other as the cell walls start to break down. The leaves are absorbing UV light and full spectrum sunlight, and that's changing the flavor compounds in the leaf as well, increasing and changing the terpene content. And every so often, what you want to do is make sure that you come and you move them around. He's just done it, so I'm not going to do it with this one, because obviously the leaves at the top are going to be wilting faster. So you want to even it out, come and flip them over so that there's an even withering going on. I asked him how long he normally withers for, and I got a typically tea farmer answer. He withers it until the leaves have lost enough moisture. We're tasting the autumn 2017 Gushu, 200 to 300 year old tea trees. I'm being told we're going to go check them out. Great taste. Autumn tea is going to have less of that intensity. It has a really interesting, juicy, spicy note to it, which I really like. So we're going to head off now into their forest and check out the Gushu tea trees and see how they are budding and flushing. Off to work we go. Off to work we go. We're the first buyers that have arrived. Oops. So we just caught it in time. This is one of the key things, is making sure that you get here at the right time to nab the good leaves. No, little ones. That's certainly not Gushu. We're going deeper. Deeper. Follow me deeper. Into the forest, yeah. Turning around is not the best thing when you're going down a path like this. Mozzies. Ugh. Whoa, mozzies and flies. This is an interesting angle to try and do. Here, can you see yourself? Hello.
Hello.
The tranquility of the forest has been disturbed by this annoying noise, but it doesn't annoy me because that noise is the noise of people strimming weeds, and that means that they're not using weed killer chemicals to do the work lazy style. That's the hard work, and so when I hear that noise, I'm always happy. So we're about an hour and a half in through our trek through this forest, and we keep going. Nice fresh water here, but no stopping, no resting. Got to get to those forests. We've arrived at the farmer's tea plantation. It's looking really nice on a steep slope. The tea trees are looking pretty healthy. The weeds have been trimmed, so that's really nice. No chemicals used. You can see these tea trees over here. They're probably in the region of about 100 years old. You can see the amount of different branches coming off the trunk. We're going to head a bit further down, but be careful, it's very steep. You got to go some weird crab style down this one. Be very careful, it's super steep. This one here is a narrower trunk base, but it's really tall. I don't know if you can see up at the top there. This is used so you can climb up and pick the leaves. This is an old tea tree. This is definitely Gushu. This tea forest is full of tea trees of this size, you know, big, nice, strong trunks, quite a large circumference here. Again, nice old tea trees. It's looking good, this tea field, this tea forest. There are plenty all around me. You just have to pan around. You can see, look here, nice. They're reaching up to the sky, very strong. Just looking really healthy. I like the look of these tea forests. Definitely Gushu forests. Not ancient, not old Gushu. We've certainly seen older than this, a lot older than this, but still very nice to see this, and gives me good hope for the taste of this spring harvest. 两个人。
一个在上，一个在下。
合
作。
Okay. So she was saying that two people can pick this tree. One can climb up and pick the top leaves, and another can go round the base and pick the other leaves. Well, Celine missed the blooper because I was holding the camera and I started falling down the mountain, but I protected the camera, and here is the result. Beautiful, huh? I'm sporting a lovely Gushu mountain mud stain, but luckily the camera's okay, and this mic is looking a little bit worse for wear, but it's all right. Damn, now we can't return it to Amazon. Okay, so they're picking some trees, and the key here is that they pick one tree at a time. They don't come, find some leaves that are ready, move on, and then come back to it. That would be far too complicated to remember where you've picked, etc. So they pick one tea tree at a time, and therefore the leaves have to flush as evenly as possible so that they can pick a good picking across the whole plant. Sometimes we've seen some where the flush is a bit uneven, where some are still too young, too small. These are examples of small leaves for puer. You wouldn't pick this is too small. Yeah. And this one is quite even. If you look across this plant, they're all around the same size leaf. You can see here. So this will be ready to pick all in at the same day, on the same day. There are some tea plants that we saw where you've got young, you've got old, and it's a little bit uneven, and that makes it more difficult because you've got to choose when you're going to do the picking. So you need to take an average of when most of it's ready. This Gushu here, this is definitely a Gushu, is ready, it's prime. What you want to look for is much larger leaves. Ideally, you want buds to be still present, or at least some buds to be present. So if you take a look at this Gushu plant here, 对不起，我可以看
太好了吗？
yeah. 谢谢你. So you can see the pickings that they're doing here. Larger leaves. Let me pull one out for you. Larger leaves. A bud still present is nice. It's not essential. There will be some that the buds are not present anymore. But these large leaves is what they're looking for. This Gushu material is prime. It's early spring pickings. You can see the quality of these pickings. Very, very excited to see these leaves being processed. 谢谢你.
来，慢一点。
Ooh, there's some massive ants here. I was going to grab that. I wouldn't if I was you. Check out that ant.
Okay, hang on.
That'll bite your finger off, that one. Oi, oi, oi. Kid with his iPhone overlooking the withering process, checking it out, making sure he's guarding it, wait for see the foreigners. Yes, the foreigners are looking at him. Hello. We've just returned from the Gushu forest from these farmers, and I have to say things are looking good. We brought back some seeds. Let me show you. If you bite open a tea seed, you get this jelly. Can you get a focus on that? Little jelly. It's like a kind of aloe vera jelly. So I like to suck on this. Really refreshing. Slightly bitter, but very, very nice. So as I said, the forests look really good. The trees look in very healthy condition. They're on a very steep slope. I fell down during the filming, which shows you how steep it is. But they look really good condition. The soil looks really good condition. The weeds, you can see they've been trimmed down, which is a good sign. It means that no chemicals are being used in the control of the weeds. They're using strimmers to control the weeds. That's a good sign. And the age of the tea trees, they're certainly not the oldest tea trees that we've ever seen by any stretch of the imagination. They are, I would say, in the 200 to 300-year-old Gushu range. They also have some 30 to 40-year-old tea trees, but they are kept separate and they are produced separately, which is a good thing as well. So yeah, about 200 to 300-year-old. It's difficult to know the aging. I liked the fact that when I asked the farmers how old their tea trees were, they said, we don't actually know, but the plantation or the forest has been within the family. It's been passed down as part of the family ownership for a couple of hundred years. So that puts it in the 200 to 300-year-old Gushu range. You can clearly see when you go to these forests, 200, 300-year-old versus about 500-year-old versus the 700 to 1,000-year-old. 1,000-year-old tea trees still do exist and the material is still available. In fact, last night we nearly did a deal for 1,000-year-old cooked puer, another one of those sacred owl possibilities, but the price was just too high. They have really escalated these prices over the past 5 years. So we couldn't get the deal done, unfortunately. But 1,000-year-old tea tree material is still out there if you're prepared to pay the price. This is 200 to 300-year-old, all good. And I like the fact that these farmers do all of the work themselves. They say that when it's the busy season, which is coming up, when they're going to be doing a lot of picking, they will have to bring in neighbors to help them do the picking. But other than that, all the production is done themselves. You can see here that the shaching process and the withering process is done here. They do the sorting process, and the brother of the farmer here, the farmer's wife, will press cakes, does the cake pressing. So we can do everything in-house if we decide to purchase. I have not talked about price with them. I like to see everything and just see how things are going with their forest and the way that they produce the tea. And we do a lot of tasting, and then we'll start to talk about price. The chef has prepared this incredible meal for us.
Thank
Look at this spread here. We've got bamboo shoots. We've got, I don't know what this is. What? Yu Xing chai. Liu Xing chai. Yu Xing chai.
The fish. 鱼腥草.
It has the most incredible smell that I think really smells like freshly picked tea leaves. This is bamboo shoot flowers. We've got a little cucumber chili dip. We've got some smoked beef. We've got some pork belly, some cabbage, what herb is this?
Radish.
Radish, yes, a sort of radish. But the pièce de la résistance, and I have to say we are really honoured, is that we didn't ask, but they killed a chicken on our behalf. And this is a black chicken soup. For all the vegans out there, I'm sorry, but this is one of the most delicious soups you will ever try. It just is so packed full of flavour, it's incredible. I'm really, really honoured. 谢谢. Thank you so much for this food. Okay, it's 8:30 in the evening. The leaves behind Celine have probably been withering for around 8 or 9 hours. And we are now prepping for the Shaqing cooking process. The fire has been lit and it's been washed with water and a scrubbing brush, so it's all clean, and it's starting to get very, very hot, especially right there. This is actually a kind of metal. I think it's a sort of iron ore, but it's very fragile and is easily broken if something heavy drops on it. But it's getting very, very hot. And it does have a metallic ring to it when I hit, but it looks kind of like clay. Take a look at the leaves here. You can see that they're nicely wilted. They've lost a lot of their moisture. They're very pliable. And we're about to get an aroma explosion as it hits that hot wok. We're waiting for the wok to heat up. I asked the master Shaqing maker here how hot he gets the wok. And once again, it's done by feel, but you can see that they put water in here. So they're watching to see when it goes boiling. But it's all done by fire. It's all done traditional style, so it's all done by feel. And it would be interesting, I don't have a temperature gun here. It would be interesting to actually know what the temperature is, but I'm going to guess it's about 150. Very low temperature. So they're going for a low temperature here, which, according to the theory, will give good body. It's going to be interesting to taste how those top note aromas are protected. This is an entire morning's picking. You can see how small batch it is. You can see how much care he is putting into cooking these leaves. It's a wood fire fuel, but there's no smoke coming up. They've got chimneys, metal chimneys to take the smoke away, so there's no smoke affecting the flavor of the tea. And the leaves are starting to wilt down. Hearing a little bit more of a crackle. The smell is kind of like a nutmeg custard. Spiced custard. Very creamy. So the goal, as with any cooking of the tea leaves, is to deactivate enzymes in the leaf that catalyze the oxidation process. But with pu'er tea, you want to deactivate and slow down the majority of the enzymes, but leave some enzymatic activity active in the leaf, which makes it suitable for aging. It's hot work this. 20 minutes he's been doing it. He's going to go a little bit longer. The smell, if I get in here and try not to disturb him. Oh, so much sweeter. Oh, what is that? Bananas, cooked bananas, caramelized bananas, and flowers. Flower I can't quite put my finger on. Jasmine, honeysuckle, jasmine and caramelized bananas. Oh, that made my mouth water. Delicious. So he's going to keep going with this, and then we're going to move on to the rolling phase. So tell him the microphone.
I smelled flowers, a little bit like honeysuckle and jasmine mixed together.
You're just copying me.
Oh, did you say that? Sorry, I wasn't concentrating. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Concentrating on the look.
It's fine. It's not fair because I smelled it first.
Okay, fine. Bananas and honey.
Yeah.
Did you say that? Okay,
I did say caramelized bananas.
I'm just copying Don, but he is pretty correct.
You're going to have to take our word for it. Oh, we're missing it. Too much ego.
Yeah, quick.
Okay, so they've been removed. Now, where do they go? This is probably my favorite part of the whole tea production process, is seeing these freshly cooked, sticky, moist, and fragrant leaves. My Gushu feast is served. Look at this treasure. The smell, real jasmine. Oh, chili peppers, green chilies and jasmine. Interesting. They're going to roll this once it's cooled down, nearly cooled. When they roll it, all the juices are going to get pulled up to the surface, and then it's going to be sun drying. Okay, rolling lesson. Okay, it's kind of forwards and then around. I'm really trying to be a mirror image to the master here. I think I'm doing an all right job, but I have this terrible sinking feeling that I'm going to destroy his first batch of Gushu for the year. And considering he's only going to make 50 kilos, that would be on my head. So he does a kneading motion, and then he goes into a circular motion. Roll the baby. Roll the baby. Wow, you can feel all the leaves kind of tightening up into one big bolus. I really want a massive guy one for this. Forward. This is like serious responsibility, man. Can't believe they're letting me do this. I have to buy it basically after this. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so all in the fingers. Jazz hands, people. Jazz hands. So will you hire me? Hey!
Reluctantly.
Yeah, out of politeness. Let's see the difference. I think it's not fair because there's more light on his, so his looks better. Even the light up. Oh, he's fluffing them. He's trying to make them look better for you. That's not fair. I'm doing that too then.
They don't look too far.
I think mine look better.
它这个是你看这个条索，这个你看你这个，对呀，你看你这个，因为你是新手，知道吧？没事的。
Hey, look, that one's kind of.
它要找直的，好可爱的。
They're having to redo mine.
你看它给你加工一下。
Oh dear.
But after my work and his together, it's going to be better than his singular.
Come on.
Did you get that?
Yeah.
Good. All right. So I've done my rolling, which was perfect, apparently. And now they're going to, because there's no sunlight now, obviously, they are going to have to wait for the sun to come out and do sun drying. So now it's just about really spreading it very, very thin, spreading the leaves very, very thin so that there's no, so that all the moisture can continue to escape and there's no kind of thick piles of leaves where moisture can stay within the leaves. And then when the sun comes out, it will dry and it's ready when it's ready, when it's dry. We will, I've been told, be able to taste this tomorrow. So we're going to taste the first Gushu production 2018 of this Yiwu tea farmer. I'm very, very excited. And I hope that I can taste my own hands on the leaf. Look at the way she's laying those toppings like a giant pizza pie. Ready for tomorrow's sunshine.
Toasted to perfection. I'm just thinking about pizza, that's why.
Yeah, I know, so am I.
Which topping would you like? Yiwu topping?
I would like tea leaf on bamboo base. Follow us. We're heading to another tea farmer. Check out the atmosphere.
Oh, cute.
How different that looks.
Yeah, that looks like a
It looks like a
white tea, yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow.
Right, this is a very different style of production. We're in the same village in Yiwu. Now, this is what happens when a bigger company steps in and they want to produce a standardized type of tea. So what they're doing here is they're making two types of puer from the same plant. I'm being summoned to taste this tea, so I will follow dutifully. But basically what they're doing is they're taking the pickings, which goes up to 4 leaves, and all of these women here are separate. Hold up, quick intermission. I'm back in London editing this video. We had filmed an entire segment at this puer factory showing you this special method that they use to make their puer tea. But after we'd finished filming, the boss of the company kindly asked me not to disclose any information about his secretive way of making puer, which I respect. He wants to keep it a secret, so I'm not going to divulge any information. All I will say is that I did taste the end result, and in my opinion, all of the efforts that these workers go through is not worth it. In fact, I think the traditional method of making puer is far superior to this method. But it's a very unique method, and I can't say more than that. Instead, let's return back to China, back to Yunnan, the next morning, early morning, after a long, late night of Gushu puer drinking.
Why? YouTube doesn't need to see this.
Yeah, okay.
It's locked. Oh, let's take a look at the tea, shall we?
Oh.
It's a night resting. Smells. It's got an interesting toffee aroma. Noodle time. Breakfast.
They have some
Loaded up. Chai. Pickled vegetable.
pickled vegetable.
Yen
That's what.
chai, okay. Yen chai. Coriander.
Coriander, love some coriander.
Xiang chai.
Chai.
Jiu chai, we've got the narration here.
那个鱼腥草，
Yuxing Chao.
昨天我们吃
So
的是叶子，
yesterday, good. Yesterday that vegetable that we had, that coriander-y vegetable, that's the root. What a lovely breakfast. Bit of chili. Ooh, going for the hot stuff.
Just a little bit. And I love fermented beans, so I'm gonna have some of that.
Fermented beans.
I don't know what that is. I think that's good.
Good.
Look at that. Sorted.
Happy days.
Breakfast. Served.
You look very nice.
Do you like my new dress? Well, borrowing the new dress.
Oh. Oh.
I feel very stylish and very comfortable.
Styling it.
I like comfortable clothes. It's so comfortable.
Oh, calm yourself. What are you chatting about?
He's very good at calming. I feel like a princess.
Whenever you live with farmers and visit tea forests like this, I'm always reminded of how closely linked these people are to their land. They have such a deep respect for this land. You can see it at the dinner table. The dishes that they're eating are all locally grown vegetables. The animals are roaming around them. They take everything from this land and they respect it because it sustains them. And when you speak to these people, the tea fields and these tea plants are number one on their list. This is part of their heritage. This has been passed down from generation to generation. The village owns this land and then it's split up to different households. So every household has this innate, inherent respect for the land, and they know that it's going to be passed down to their children and grandchildren, and it will continue to give value and sustain their future generations. And therefore they would never dream of spraying these plants or putting weed killer down to spoil this soil. It would just be absurd to them. It would be a horror for them. Now, stories that you may have heard of pesticides and weed killers being used are true. Definitely throughout the tea growing world and even in Yunnan, this happens. But in our experience, it tends to be when business gets involved. So businessmen coming in, renting land, and looking for fast profits, looking for the highest maximum amount of yield that they can get. I'm not saying that these people are pure and have no concerns about money. Of course they do, we all do. In fact, the amount of love, attention and respect that they put into this tea means that they give it high value, and quite rightly so. This is so much more valuable to us and to any discerning consumer than high yield plantations. But for these people, there's a long-term approach to this, and there's just a natural respect for the land which is sustaining them, which is why coming to places like this and doing deals and building relationships with people who have this innate, deep respect for their land is so important to us. Whenever we do the scope analysis for a puer, we always talk about the Da Ye Zhong variety, which is very, very broad thing to say. And I know there is some controversy about it because some people talk about Camellia Italiensis as well being a very dominant factor in puer tea trees. However, what's important to note is that these puer forests, all of the plants grow from seeds. So these are seeds, these are tea seeds here. These are the fruits, and then these are the seeds inside the fruits. And all of these plants that these tea leaves are picked from are grown from seed, and therefore there's genetic variety in them. It's not the same thing as when you go to other tea plantations and they are finding and isolating a particular genetic strain that they really, really love, and then they take cuttings of it and they basically do grafts of it, and essentially they are growing identical genetic strains. Here, there's hybridization, and I love that. I love the fact that there's continuous variation, and that means that yes, the different mountains, the different villages on the mountains will all start to have different characteristics, not just dependent on the terroir, but also dependent upon the genetic variety on the mountains. A very important part of puer production. In fact, something that defines puer is that the leaves have to be sun-dried after the shaching process. This is to, again, preserve the enzymatic activity in the leaf, but also I am convinced that this full spectrum sun adds flavor and adds an extra dimension to the taste and the texture of the tea. You can see these leaves have been cooked this morning, and these are the ones that we did last night, and these are now pretty much dry, and we can sort out the huang pian and taste this tea. You can see all around me, this is a really important part of the process, and another reason why weather is such a key part of tea production. The quality of the tea is so affected by the weather. If it's a rainy day, what are they going to do? But thankfully, it's good weather. It's a great day, perfect sun-drying weather. And everywhere you walk around this village area and all around the province of Yunnan, you're going to see this, leaves quietly baking in the sun. While the leaves are sun-drying, it's important that they dry as evenly as possible. And you can see this layer has been drying under the sun for quite a few hours. If I turn this over, you can see how much greener it is on the underside. So you need to come and you need to flip these leaves to make sure that we get even sun drying and you don't get areas that stay moist for too long. I'll flip another area here. You can see it's quite satisfying actually, revealing all these green leaves.
So you're doing a good job here.
Trying my best. I've got the eyes of a master on me, so trying to make sure I don't mess up his gushu. Whether or not we buy it or not is not the point. Just make sure we get the best out of these leaves. Yeah, looking good. Come on, son, dry those leaves. We want to taste. All right, everybody, we have just walked away from the tea farmer's place for a little bit because I just want to talk to you a little bit about what happens next. A lot of people have asked me how we do the deals, the business side of tea. This is that kind of moment is coming up. We've lived with these farmers for the best part of 2 days. We've eaten with them, we've made friends with them, we've visited their tea farms, we've helped them produce their tea. But now we have to see whether or not, first of all, the tea tastes good enough for Mayleaf, and secondly, if we can purchase some. I have already seen in this area, buyers are coming in, agents, Chinese agents are roaming around the village. I have spoken to the family of farmers, and they basically said that we are the first to have visited them, so we're lucky on that front. So we're the first, so we get first dibs at trying to do a deal here, but it's always difficult. It's never, never sure, even after 2 days, there's many times that the deals fall flat if we just can't come up with a price. I know that Yiwu Gushu PuErh is so highly prized in the market these days. The tea is ready, it's drying, it's so close, we're so close to getting it. It's now a question of whether or not we can do the deal. So we're gonna have some lunch, and then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna sit down and finally taste this tea. Now, when I taste this tea, we will film tasting the tea, but when I taste this tea, I'm not gonna react too joyously if I love it, because obviously I don't want to give away that I'm completely in love with the tea. So bear that in mind when you watch the video. You may see a little bit of a poker face on me when I'm drinking the tea. And then after that, if we like it, if we think it's good enough for Mayleaf, I'm pretty sure it's going to be, from everything that I've tried from their last year's batch and seeing how they produce their tea. But if it is approved, then we're going to have to try to do a deal. And that is not an easy thing to do. In my experience, the most fair deals are the ones where both parties walk away slightly unhappy. If I feel like I've paid more than I wanted and they feel that they could have gotten more for their tea, that's probably going to be the right deal. Ready, guys? Moment of truth. Gushu 2018. Cheers. Yeah. Flavor is amazing. Still young, still fresh. They were saying we need 1 week. He was saying 1 more week for it to just settle, for us to really taste it, but we don't have that luxury. It's really, really good. I don't want to say too much, but it's very good. Sweet. The bitterness just, it comes and then disappears. It's almost like it doesn't arrive. It's like you're waiting at the train station, you see the train come and it just goes by. It comes and then disappears. The color of the liquor, for first infusions, that's gold already. Very, very into it, very, very happy. We have to talk price. I'm not good at negotiating. Okay? So I will tell them my top price. Yeah, this is the absolute top that I can do. Hard negotiation, as expected. And as I predicted, I think both of us feel like we pushed ourselves to the absolute limit of what we can do, but the intention was there. We both really wanted to work together, so the deal has been done. It's more money than I wanted to pay for it, but that's the way it works. And I have so much respect for what they do and how they do it, and I hope that this is going to be the beginning of a bigger long-term relationship. And I hope that you guys will enjoy the tea. It is an amazing tea. I was trying to keep poker-faced about it, but it's a delicious tea. We'll definitely be talking about it. It's fresh. It was only made yesterday, so it still had the greenness of it. But honestly, if I'd been sent that sample, I would have purchased it straight off. The fleeting movement of, you know, this strength, and then to no bitterness, but just this feeling that it's going to come, and then the transformation for it to disappear into this sweetness. It has cream, it has flowers, it has nice hui gan. It's a beautiful tea, and it's only going to get better. So we did the deal. It was hard work though. And we're going to take a picture, no? Let's take a picture together. Yeah, take a picture and work together. So, the beginning of a beautiful relationship, proper, true Gushu PuErh. 谢谢。谢谢谢谢谢谢谢谢谢谢谢谢。互相喝的吧。谢谢谢谢。再见，拜拜拜拜拜拜拜拜。
到处都是，哎呀，太多了，一个球。 分钟都不停歇。
We arrived back into Jinghong late last night, managed to get a few hours sleep, but we're really tired. However, we've got to keep on pushing because we're very conscious of the fact that there are many agents out there, mostly Chinese and Taiwanese tea agents, busy buying up pu'er tea. So we've got to keep on pushing, and we're going to head up west, drive up into the mountains to repeat this process again to try to find new farmers. We're on day 4 of our trip. We've reserved just under a week more to find pu'er tea farmers, and then we're going to go to Anhui, where we've arranged for our existing farmers to send samples of their 2018 Gushu pu'er harvests so that we can taste more and hopefully make some decisions. After that, we're going to fly to Anhui province to repeat the process yet again for different types of tea. This is certainly not the easiest way to source teas, and many times our efforts are wasted either because the farmer doesn't quite make the grade, we're not happy enough with the tea, or we can't get the deal done. However, I feel that this is the best way to forge really strong relationships, which means that year in, year out, I will have the best selection and choices of tea to batch curate teas for you guys out there. That's it, tea heads. If you made it to the end of this video, then make sure you hit it with a thumbs up. Check out our YouTube playlist and let us know if there are any videos that you would like us to make. If you're over in London, then come visit us in Camden to say hi and taste our wares. If you have any questions or comments, then please fire them over. Other than that, I'm Don from Mayleaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from those tea bags. Keep drinking the good stuff and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.